it's Carolyn's Jenny, and I'm auditioning for the Sims 2 series, Rosalie and Royce. I'll be saying the lines, and I will be reading the story that she told Bella about when she gets human with Royce. So here are the lines that you posted. I can't believe you would blame me for this. Ouch! Back off! Okay? Now the story from the book. I'm not gonna do... Well, actually, I probably should do the whole story. I don't know. I'm gonna get really tired of reading, then I'll stop. Would you like to hear my story, Bella? It doesn't have a happy ending, but which of ours does? If we all had happy endings, we'd all be under gravestones now. I lived in a different world than you do, Bella. My human world was a much simpler place. It was 1933. I was 18, and I was beautiful. My life was perfect. My parents were thoroughly middle class. My father had a stable job in a bank. Sometimes I realize now that he was smug about it. He saw his prosperity as a reward for talent and hard work, rather than acknowledging the lack involved. I took it all for granted then. In my home, it was as if Great Depression was only a troublesome rumor. Of course, I saw the poor people, the ones who weren't as lucky. My father left me with the impression that they had brought their troubles on themselves. Hang on, my dog went on my room. And my other dog won't leave, so pretty soon she's gonna be bugging me to leave too. It was my mother's job to keep her house and myself and my 2 younger brothers in spotless order. It was clear that I was both her first priority and her favorite. I didn't fully understand at the time, but I was always vaguely I'm sorry, I keep messing up on the words. Vaguely aware that my parents were satisfied with what they had, even if it was so much more than most. They wanted more. They had social aspirations, social climbers, I suppose you would call them. My beauty was like a gift to them. They saw so much more potential in it than I did. Hang on, now my other dog went out of my room. I have one more dog in my bedroom, so that's good. I'm sorry about my cough. It's terrible. It should only last about a week, though. So, they weren't satisfied, but I was. I was thrilled to be me, to be Rosalie Hale, pleased that men's eyes watched me everywhere I went, from the year I turned 12. Delighted that my girlfriends sighed with envy when they touched my hair, happy that my mother was proud of me, and that my father liked to buy me pretty dresses. I knew that I wanted out of life, and there didn't seem to be any other way that I couldn't get exactly what I wanted. I wanted to be loved, to be adored. I wanted to have a huge, flowery wedding where everyone in town would watch me walk down the aisle on my father's arm, and I would think it was the most beautiful thing they had ever seen. Admiration was like air to me, Bella. I was silly and shallow, but I was content. My parents' influence had been such that I had also wanted the material things of life. I wanted a big house with elegant furnishings that someone else would clean, and a modern kitchen that someone else would cook in. As I said, shallow. Young and very shallow. And I didn't see any reason why I couldn't get these things. There are a few things I wanted that were more meaningful. The things in particular. My very closest friends friend was a girl named Vera. She married young, just 17. She married a man my parents would never have considered for me, a carpenter. A year later, she had a son, a beautiful little boy with dimpled and curly black hair. It was the first time I had ever felt truly jealous of anyone else in my entire life. It was a different time. I was the same age as you, but I was ready for it all. I yearned for my own little baby. I wanted my own house and a husband who would kiss me when he got home from work, just like Vera. Only I had a different kind of house in mind. It was hard for me to imagine I'm sorry, I didn't mean to read that part. That's not part of the story. In Rochester, there was one royal family, the King's Iron Meat. Hang on, now my third dog got home. I'm so sorry. I have 3 dogs and 2 were in here, and then the third one came in actually. She never came the first time. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm gonna read that part over again. Yeah, you could see her in the background, huh, on my bed. Okay, well, anyways. And the King's, Royce King owned the bank my father worked at, and nearly every other really profitable business in town. That's how his son, Royce King II, saw me the first time. He was going to take over the bank, and so he began overseeing the different positions. 2 days later, my mother conveniently forgot to send my father's lunch to work with him. I remember being confused when she insisted that I wear my white organza and roll up my hair up just to run over to the bank. I didn't notice Royce watching me particularly. Everyone watched me, but that night the first roses came. Every night of our courtship, he sent a bouquet of roses to me. My room was often overflowing with them. It got to the point where I would smell the roses when I left the house. Royce was handsome too. He had lighter hair than I did, and pale blue eyes. He said my eyes were like violets. And then they started showing up alongside the roses. My parents approved. That, putting it mildly, this was everything they dreamed of. And Royce seemed to be everything I had dreamed of. The fairy tale prince come to make me a princess. Everything I wanted. Yet it was still no more than I had expected. We were engaged before I had known him for 2 months. That's actually probably all I'm gonna read. This is a really long audition video. You probably don't have to listen to this whole thing. Okay, so yeah. Bye.